guys, welcome to the BP Gaming Network. We are playing Out of the Park Baseball 21, featuring our Oakland Athletics franchise 2020 season. And it is the end of the month. It's April 30th, where we are about to do a recap of how this month has progressed for the team, including the first part of the month of March. So this video will be all about updates, monthly updates and recaps for, we'll do a team update. We'll also do a minor league review update, and we'll check out how things are stacking up overall in the league for the entire MLB league. So let's get started by quickly looking at the calendar. So the last time, in our last video, we were, I believe, in April 23rd, and we were just finishing off a 3-game series between the Athletics and the Cleveland Indians. We won that series 2-1. From there, we started our next series against the Houston Astros, and we lost the series 2-1. And then we started another series on the road against the Texas Rangers, and we lost that series. So not a very good road trip for us. We won a few games, won the series with the Indians, but then we lost the next 2 series against the Houston Astros and the Rangers. April 30th, which is today, we played a game against the Tampa Bay Rays, and we won that game. So we kind of ended the month on a positive note. So we beat the Rays 7-3. Pitching for us was AJ Puk. AJ Puk was just called out from AAA, where he was undergoing rehab. He came in, pitched in 6 innings, gave up 7 runs, 3 of them earned, with an ERA of 4.50. So pretty good for his first game of 2020. And then Yasmira Petit and Brian Schlitter closed out the rest of the game for us from the bullpen. For the Rays, it was Blake Snell, who went 5 innings, gave up just 1 run, so he pitched well, and then the bullpen came in. The play of the game from that game was Marcus Semien, and that's because he went 3 for 4 with 1 RBI. So not a bad way to end the month, but we did lose quite a few games towards that end, towards the last few weeks. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and quickly take a look at the team stats, see how the team has been doing. So as you can see, we are number 1 in our division in the American League West with a 19-14 record, so that's pretty good. The Astros are tied for second with the Rangers with a record of 17-13 for both teams. And then the Angels, and the last team in our division is the Seattle Mariners with a 15-18 record. So a couple things, I'm very excited to end the month positively with a winning record and also playing about 500. So it is still early into the season, but that's a pretty decent start for us. Gives me pretty good hope that I think we can achieve our goal for this year. As far as the players and their performance, the batting leaders for the team, you can see Stephen Piscotty is leading the team in batting average with a .303 batting average. Piscotty has been tremendous for the team. He's played really well right off the bat. As soon as the season started, he's just been on fire and he hasn't let go. So yeah, we've got to highlight him. Matt Olson has also been playing really well. He's got a .286 batting average, good for second for our team. Marcus Semien with a .280 batting average. Semien has also been playing really well. So these guys are sort of expected. Piscotty, not too much of a surprise, but a little bit of a surprise for him to be playing this well and leading the team in not just batting average, but in a few other offensive stats. Home runs, Chris Crash Davis is leading the team with 12 home runs. Semien is second with 10, and Olson third with 9. And then same thing for runs batted in, Chris Davis, Matt Olson, and Marcus Semien. Pitching wise, the best pitcher for our team so far is actually Frankie Montas. Frankie Montas has been called to pitch in 42 innings, and he has not let us down. He's pitched tremendously, and look at his decision record there. He's got 3 wins, no losses, an ERA of 2.57, decent whip of 1.12. He doesn't get too many strikeouts. Strikeouts per 9 a bit low with 8.6. But yeah, he's held it down. He's really come through for us. Mike Fiers, he's pitched well as well. He's suffered a minor injury. He's currently out for 2 weeks. He's on the 15-day injured list with a joint irritation. In 36 innings, he's got a 4.25 ERA. He has some struggles, doesn't get too many strikeouts, but he is a finesse pitcher. He works the corners and down into the dirt, but that doesn't get too many strikeouts, but he is effective nonetheless. Sean Manai. Sean Manai has been a bit of a disappointment. We were expecting a little bit better after 42 innings. He's pitched in 42 and 1/3 innings. His ERA is 5.95. His strikeouts per 9 is extremely low. He's given up a lot of hits. He's given up a lot of walks. You can see his whip is 1.46. So we're hoping for a better bounce back next month for Manai. Yeah. And let's see who else has really stood out for us that we can highlight here. Now, Liam Hendriks, his ERA is not the best. He did give up some key games for us, but he's come through big time when it comes to saves when called upon as a closer. So happy with his performance so far. Yes, Mira Petit and Lou Trevino have been sort of our best guys coming out of the bullpen. So pretty happy with their performance so far. All right, now let's go into our reports and take a look at our major transactions for this month. So at the beginning of the month, April 4th, the biggest transaction that we actually did was to acquire Breivik Valera. We acquired him from waivers. He was playing for the Blue Jays and then was picked up on waivers by the Padres, and then we picked him up on waivers again from the Padres. So he's got a 242 batting average, so he hasn't necessarily been playing as good as we had hoped, but the reason, or the main reason why we picked him up is he has decent ratings, but he has the utility capabilities. You can see he can play a lot of positions, mostly infield, but he can play a few outfield positions in left and right. Primarily, we needed him to help us at second base, where we definitely have a weak spot there. And yeah, so we picked him up from waivers. And then at the same time, Jesus Luzardo suffered an injury, so we put him on a 15-day injured list. And as a result, we called up Bert Smith from AAA Las Vegas. April 5th, we also had the next worst news for our team when Joakim Soria suffered a hamstring injury. He'll be out for 8 weeks. He's currently on the 60-day injured list. And to replace him, we called up Tanner Anderson from AAA Las Vegas. And then April 11th, we optioned Ramon Laureano to AAA Las Vegas to make room for Breivik Valera once we had called him up from waivers. And on April 14th, we purchased a young rookie, signed a contract with Frank De La Rosa out of the Dominican Republic. He's currently in our rookie team, the Dominican rookie team. And then on April 18th, AJ Puck came out of the injured list, and we sent him down to AAA for rehab. And the following week, April 25th, Breivik suffered an injury, and so we put him on a 10-day injured list. And in turn, we called up Ramon Laureano from AAA to fill in for Breivik Valera. And then April 26th, Mike Fiers suffered an injury. We put him on the 15-day injured list. And as a result, we called up AJ Puck from AAA Las Vegas. So that is your roundup as far as all the major transactions that the team has done for the entire month of April up to today. So with that said, we will now take a look at our top prospects and see how they've been doing since the season started. So top prospects. All right, so we'll start off with the batters, and Sean Murphy, the number 2 prospect on our organization, and he's currently playing for the A's as a catcher, and he's been tremendous. He's got a .274 batting average, has been delivering big time for us. Nick Allen, who's currently playing in a AA team, has been performing really well with a .282 batting average. Disappointingly, Sheldon Noose, currently playing for a AAA team in Las Vegas, hasn't come out swinging as we had hoped. He is a decent defender. He's got decent potential, but it still hasn't come through. It's still April, so they still hope. The rest of the guys, as far as standouts, I'll probably say Jonah Heim, playing for a AA team in Midland. He's got a .338 batting average, another catcher, and another number 14 prospect on our team. The next guy is Luis Barrera, also in AA Midland, a right fielder with a .305 batting average. Sky Bolt in our AAA team, another outfielder with a .315 batting average for the month of April. The rest of the guys, the rest of the batters, nothing special that really we can point out. Jorge Mateo, disappointing. Austin Beck, disappointing season so far. Lazaro Armenteros, really poor performance to date. Greg Dykman, not delivering as we would have expected him to. Young kid, 24 years of age, first baseman, but still got a long way to go. We'll see how the rest of the season continues for the rest of those guys. Pitching wise, for our top prospects, our number 1 prospect, Jesus Luzardo, currently injured. He's got another day on before we put him back on the lineup, and you can see his ERA so far is 4.70 after 7 2/3 innings. So not too bad for a number 1 guy. He's playing for the A's. The other guy, AJ Puck, number 3 on our top prospects. He played 1 game. He had a winning decision, so his record is 1-0. His ERA is 4.50. He had that injury where he missed, I believe it was about 3 weeks, and went down to AAA for rehab, and then we called him back up. And in his first game, played really well for us, going 6 innings. So Dalton Jeffries, another top prospect for us in AAA, struggling so far. Grant Holmes, again, another number 9 top prospect in AAA, playing really well for us so far. And that's kind of where it ends as far as pitching performance from our top prospects. The rest of the guys, very poor performances so far. Joe Demers, Rafael Kelly in AA, Demers in AA, Miguel Romero in AA. He's got a 2-0 record so far, and 0 ERA. Well, that's not too bad. James Caprielian, always struggle with that name, from AAA, poor performances. Parker Dunshee, poor performances. Tyler Baum, poor performances. So, not spectacular results from our top prospects, but again, it's only been 1 month into the season, so we'll keep an eye out and see how they continue to perform for the rest of the season. All right, that is quick recaps from the team, the best performers, and also some of our top prospects. Next, we will now head out and actually go through our minor league teams. So first, we'll head out to Las Vegas and check out our AAA team there, the Aviators. The Aviators are currently third in their division, which essentially means that they're second to last with an 8-13 record. So they're not playing very well, way far off from playing above 500. The best batting leaders or batting players for the team: Sky Bolt, leading the team with a .315 batting average, Dustin Fowler with a .301 batting average, and then Ryan Goins, who's just batting just below that Mendoza line there with a .246 batting average. When Laureano was playing for AAA, he led the team in home runs, and now it's Seth Brown. Pitching wise, Grant Holmes, one of our top prospects, has got a 2.13 ERA, and Zach Lee has got a 3.74 ERA in AAA. Dalton Jeffries, whom we expect a lot more, he is one of our top prospects. He's got a 5.61 ERA. So not exciting or good stats coming out of AAA. But yeah, we'll continue to see how things play out. Next, we'll head out to Texas. Check out our AA team there, Midland Rockhounds. The team is currently leading in their division with a record of 11-9. Batting wise, Jonah Heim with a .338 batting average, Luis Barrera with a .305 batting average, and Tyler Ramirez with a .304 batting average. As far as home runs are concerned, Jonah Heim is Jonah Heim is actually leading the team with 3 home runs. So not a lot of power in AA for some reason. Now for our pitchers in AA, Matt Milburn has got the best pitching record ERA wise with a 4.18 ERA. And he doesn't have a very high potential. 26 years of age, still in AA. Michael Murray and Kyle Hendriks, number 2 and 3 respectively in the pitching leaderboard. So I could possibly say, pitching wise, our AA team doesn't have too many standouts. We have a potentially decent closer in Miguel Romero, and we have a sort of a decent reliever in Eric Martinez, but our rotation in AA is not stacked up with a lot of good talent, so that's sort of a concern. Generally, you want your AAA and AA teams to have fairly decent, capable guys. So that could be something we need to focus on as a priority, is try and bring in some decent prospects to take up spots in our, basically the 2 big teams in our minor league system is AAA and AA. So we need to keep a good eye on that, because that is, as it stands right now, pitching wise, it looks pretty, not pathetic, but sad. I mean, if this is our best pitcher so far after 1 month, yeah. All right, that's that. Now we'll take a look. We'll go to California and take a look at Stockton Ports, our Advanced A team. And yeah, they're not performing very well. They The team is the bottom in their division with a 6-14 record. Batting wise, we've got Mickey White, who's got a 286 batting average, and again, not a top prospect, doesn't have very high potential, but stats wise he's playing really well. Ben Spitznagel with a 277 batting average, center fielder. And the next guy to qualify for the batting leaderboards is Greg Dykman with a 200 batting average. So yeah, not good performances. That explains why the team is really in that last position there, playing far out of 500. Pitching wise, we've got Wyatt Marks and Xavier Altamirano. So again, when it comes to pitching, there's not too many qualifiers here. We've got a decent potential, decent closer in Jesus Zambrano, and that's about it. Hogan Harris is the other guy with semi-decent potential. So a weak pitching staff in our advanced A team. For our batting position players, we've got a mixed bag. So, you know, we've got a couple guys who've got a 2 rating and in potential, and then the rest either a 1.5 or just a 1. So not the strongest team in advanced A. So we'll go ahead and take a look at, we'll head out to the Midwest to Beloit, Wisconsin, and check out our single A team, Beloit Snappers. The Snappers are 3rd best in their division, playing less than 500 with a 8-11 record. For qualifiers, for batting leaders, we've got Alonzo Jones, who's leading that team. In batting, he's a 2-star potential center fielder, 23 years of age. Next is Henry Pantoja, Cuban. So it is Pantoja. He's got a 294 batting average, left fielder with not the best potential. Austin Beck, who's got the best potential out of the entire team, not having a tremendous season so far with a 233 batting average. So one thing I like about Austin Beck is that he has decent power potential. He's got 2 home runs so far, and that probably means he leads the team in home runs. So we definitely will continue to keep an eye out for Austin Beck. We may move him up to advanced A and see if that helps him develop even better. He's injured at the moment. He'll be out for most of this season, so we may not see him possibly until next year. Pitching wise, we've got Henderson Hurtado with a 5.40 ERA. That's the only guy who had who qualified for the pitching leaderboards. So again, we don't have a lot of high potential guys in our single A team, but a little bit better than the double A team. So yeah, that's where things stand. We won't go any further because the Vermont Lake Monsters haven't started their season. This is our short season team. Their season starts in June, and so are the rest of the teams in our rookie complex. Their seasons will start in June. Let's see, I believe for pretty much all of them. Yep, including the Dominican League. Yep, June is a start time for the rest of the teams. So that is a roundup of our minor league teams. Gives you guys a little bit of a deep dive, not so deep, but a little overview of how the rest of our teams in our organization are doing. As this season progresses, we'll be able to have better info and better staff because we'll have more stats as the season advances. More guys will get enough playing times, and the other teams will also start their season. So, yeah, that's that. All right, now we will head out and take a look at how things are stacking up in the MLB, the rest of the league, or the entire league. All right, in the American League, the Oakland Athletics lead the American League with the 19-14 win-loss record. So how about that? By the end of the month, we've had a pretty decent start. We're leading the American League, and yeah, really excited about that. The Astros, as I mentioned earlier, number 2, together with the Rangers, then the Angels, the Twins, 4th, the Blue Jays, 5th. Going towards the bottom, you've got the Chicago White Sox, which is not a huge surprise, but the Boston Red Sox, bottom from second from the bottom, followed by the Yankees. So those two are a bit of a surprise. Wouldn't have expected them to be that low in the standings after about a month of play. Surprisingly, the Orioles, I mean, look at these guys. They are somewhere in mid position in the league. So that's a huge surprise. The Indians, didn't expect them to be there playing that low. The Blue Jays, a bit of a surprise there. In the National League, things are a little bit more normal. You've got the Braves so far leading the National League. And then you got the Cardinals. The Mets are 3rd. I think they're tied for, actually the 3 teams are tied for 3rd. The Mets, the Cubs, and the Diamondbacks. Probably the only surprise here for me is maybe the Diamondbacks. The Dodgers being in that position. The Phillies, I expect them to be there even towards the end of the season, or probably even lower. Not surprisingly, though, is the Marlins. They're last in the National League, followed by the Padres and the Rockies. So this is a little bit more normal, except for the Nationals. The reigning World Series champs have struggled so far into the start of 2020. So that's a bit of a surprise. And I mean, the Pirates are playing better than the Nationals. That's a huge surprise. That's like, what? But it's only April. Things can look a whole lot different as the season progresses and as we get a lot deeper into the season. Now, that's your standings. We'll go ahead and take a look at some stats. See which players are leading the league in stats. No, I want statistics. All right, batting leaders. Jose Peraza is leading the entire league in batting average. And with him is number 2, Gio Urshela for the Yankees. Charlie Blackmon is 3rd with a .348 batting average. Michael Brantley from the Astros is 4th. Anthony Rendon is 5th. And Yandy Diaz is 6th. And Luis Guillermo is 7th with a .333 batting average. As far as power is concerned, Joey Gallo is leading the league with 17 home runs, and number 2, look at that, Chris Davis with 12 home runs. He is number 2 in the entire league, together with Rhys Hoskins of the Phillies. Wow, Jay Bruce is 4th, tied with 2 other guys, Nelson Cruz and Danny Santana. Mike Trout is leading the league in on base. I'm surprised to see that he's not showing up in too many leaderboards here. In too many categories, but it's still early. Gallo leading in slugging as well as OPS. So not too bad. Yeah, Matt Olson does appear in one other category here, win probability added. So again, it's always nice to see the A's players show up in these leaderboards. All right, let's take a look at pitching real quick. So leading the league in ERA is Walker Buehler. Following Buehler is Jordan Lyles. Clayton Kershaw is number 3. Looks like LA's got pretty good pitchers. Yu Darvish is 4th, and Patrick Sandoval is 5th. John Gray is 6th, and then your favorite, Frankie Montas from the Oakland Athletics, is 7th. Top 7th in the entire league with a 2.57 ERA. Elsewhere, saves. We've got Archie Bradley and Liam Hendriks tied for first place in the league with 8 saves. And what else? We've got a couple guys here from our team who've got complete games thus far. Tanaka is obviously leading the league with 2 complete games. Wow. And then you've got 6 guys, including Bassett and Mike Fiers, with at least 1 complete game so far into this season. So yeah, not bad. All right, let's take a look at some of the guys that are standing out defensively. Ronald Acuna is leading. Well, actually, it's not just him. We've got a whole bunch of guys here who've got a perfect fielding percentage. Matt Olson is leading the league in total chances, so that's pretty decent. And then he's also leading the league in fielding when it comes to games started. Matt Chapman leads the league in defensive zone rating, which is not surprising. Do I smell another Gold Glove in 2020? I think so. Danny Jansen is the leader in defensive range. It's pretty good. And Matt Olson also appears again in innings played. So Matt Olson is proving that he can soon be an Ironman for our team. All right, so that's essentially a rundown of the key batting, pitching, and fielding leaders. What else did we want to have a quick look? Yeah, let's take a look at the transactions for the MLB thus far. Let's go straight to transactions. So I want to check out the trade log. Okay, what am I doing? All right, here we go. So far this year, there's been only 1 trade, and that was between the Giants and the Dodgers. And it looks like the Giants gave up Kevin Gausman, a right-handed starting pitcher, 29 years old. Hasn't had the best season thus far. Didn't have the greatest season last year. He hasn't pitched in a lot of games over the last few years, but he's got very good ratings. And the Dodgers saw something in him, so they picked him up. And look at what they gave up. They gave up 5 minor leaguers, including a top 100 minor leaguer in Diego Cartaya, who is number 75 in the top 100 prospects list in the MLB. So he is a 18-year-old catcher who has pretty good potential. They also gave up Brett DeGusse, closer, 22 years old. Another catcher, Marco Hernandez, who can also play first base. Michael Grove, another pitcher with pretty decent potential. And another pitcher in Wills Montgomery. So if you ask me, I mean, yes, this trade, it kind of makes sense in a way. I mean, The Giants, obviously, in rebuilding. So giving up Guzman, who was going to be a free agent this year, on his last season where he was earning $9 million. I mean, who knows how much he may ask for next year for playing for the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are probably thinking that they're possibly not contending possibility. So they're probably going for a proven arm, whereas the Giants are picking up minor leaguers to set themselves up for their rebuild. And if you ask me, I think this was a pretty good trade for them. They've picked up some pretty decent minor leaguers to boost up their pipeline for the future. So that's the only league, I mean, the only trade thus far in the league. And it's not been too many trades this early into the season. Only been a month, so we'll see how the rest of the season continues to progress and what kind of moves other teams make, including the A's. We may be making some moves soon. Who knows? So that's sort of a quick in-depth view of how the team, the organization, and the league is positioned. What is coming up next for us? Well, for the month of May, we will continue with the series that we started with the Tampa Bay Rays at home. We have 3 more games in that series, and then we'll play a 3-game series against the Mariners. Following that, we have another 3-game series against the Blue Jays, and then we hit the road where we play another 3-game series against the Mariners. Then we swing by LA and face the Angels, and then we go back home and play the Rangers. We face LA again, and then we start another road trip playing against the Astros and then the Rangers. So that's how the month of May looks for us. We have had a tremendous April. Like I said, we're leading our division and also leading the American League in win and loss record. So it's starting off really well. I am excited about how things have progressed so far. We'll end it here, and in our next video, of course, we'll do our usual 2 weeks simulation, and then we'll play out a game, and we'll see how things go from there. So I hope to see you guys there. If you've watched our videos and you like these videos, please hit the like button. If you have comments, we'd love to hear from you. Suggestions, any ideas or anything that you want to share with us, hit us up on the comment section. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to see more videos. And yeah, we shall see you guys on the next video. Thanks.